My cabbages! Low, man. Ah, my cabbages!
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew Esquire, American attorney here in Asia, and this is a Legal Mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. Good to see you guys here today. We've got a great episode today. I'm joined by my good friend, the good doctor here, who I'm going to bring in a second, who's part of the team of people helping bring Johnny Somali to justice. So we're going to do our live interview with the good doctor, whose information is pinned. We're also going to go through a video, a Korean video with some new information on Johnny Somali, as well as comment on the incident, which I don't think I've watched the full video with you guys live, of the IP2 crew getting kicked off of their ferry, kind of what that means, some speculation there. And also Johnny Somali and DBR, the wannabe Johnny Somali, trying to come back and stream. And they've created new accounts on a different platform. We're going to talk about that later today. So without further ado, real quick, King Lugia, 10 Legal Minds memberships. Sid Sitar Luchai, thank you for your email, by the way. I got it, received it, responded. Thank you for the 1 Legal Minds membership. And Big Buddhist, appreciate all of these memberships. They are very much appreciated. Yes. So Wolf and Wings for 10 says, what up, nerds? What up? Good to see you and welcome today. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to bring in my good friend, Dr. Alaric. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Hi, I wanted to do the whole malevolent chair swing. You know how the chair rotates?
the chair.
Yeah, that. But my chair doesn't rotate that well, so yeah.
You're good.
I just stuck with drinking tea.
Drinking tea at 10 p.m.
You're good at, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, can you tell? So, the doctor's been one who's been in contact with me since kind of the beginning of my coverage of Johnny Somali. He's one of the first people that reached out with some videos and some information on what Korean people were saying, kind of their perspectives. So, if you'd like to let people know a little bit more about yourself, because of course I know you very well, but my audience may not know you very well. So if you could introduce yourself to my audience, that would be splendid.
Okay, I'm generally bad at self-introductions, so
aren't those required?
Yeah. Basically, I'm a language nerd. So I've been in Korea it's 15 years now. So I've been living here. I work here. People say I'm Korean now because pretty much my whole life is lived in Korean language and Korean culture. So yeah, that's pretty much me. I teach in a university, and I caught on to the whole Johnny story a bit later, I think, because I saw bits of what Japanese people had sent me, and I thought if he doesn't get arrested, something bad will happen. And then he got arrested in Japan. And then I thought, I thought something bad would happen to him when he went to Israel. I'm surprised he survived that, to be honest.
He got lucky. He got lucky with Israel.
Yeah. And then when he came to Korea, I thought in the beginning he was okay. And then I thought, something bad's going to happen. So I started to follow him. And then, sending details to the Korean cyber police quite early on. Yeah.
Right. So you were one of the first. You were actually pretty early on sending stuff into the cyber division, to the cyber police. So they were getting reports pretty early on about Johnny Somali from folks like yourself, which I think is very helpful in getting their broader attention, I think, on Johnny Somali. Someone in the chat asked, by the way, do you also speak Mandarin?
一点儿，可是我的发音一点儿不好，所以
There you go. There you go, guys.
没错。
Yeah. So, can you give a little bit about like your linguistic chops? Like, where have you studied and what languages you focus on? I think people would be interested in that.
Okay. I've done mostly my work in Korea. The one project that kind of a personal project that I'm working on is looking at the origins of Korean, Japanese, Manchu, the Okinawan languages, and how they kind of develop from one central point. So it's not easy. It's a lot of kind of conjecture, and there's a lot of massive gaps in obviously records, because Korean has only been written for a few hundred years. So going from Chinese documents, going from Japanese documents, going from, the old script Hanja and mixed scripts that they used to use in Korea, and trying to decipher that, and then comparing that to Manchu, which is basically almost a dead language now, but that has massive volumes of text in the Manchu language. And it's quite interesting because the Manchu, they controlled China for the total of the Qing dynasty, which was the Manchu dynasty, and they made official documents in Han Chinese, which is Mandarin, basically. The official language they call Guanyu, which is the like palace language, the proper one that they use. So they made documents like that the public could see, but then when you look at the Manchu documents, there's a whole lot of extra information in there that's not in the main one. And people always thought they were just the same. They were direct translations, but yeah, sometimes the crown decided, they don't need to know about that. Let's just keep that under the table. Yeah,
it's very interesting. A lot of the languages have like the court language or the palace language versus the common language, and you understand there's a lot lost between the governmental language and what people actually know. So there's those gaps, right?
Right. So in Mandarin's case, it was already being used as a palace language in Ming Dynasty, but then it got standardized during Qing. And they cut out on a lot of some unnecessary parts of it, made it more streamlined as an official language, and then everybody forgot how to speak Manchu. Even the kings couldn't speak their own language, so that's
pretty embarrassing. That's pretty embarrassing. So let me get your information out here. It's all pinned. This is all pinned information, so you can find this in the show in the chat. It's pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. But you can find his X is the GoryoDynasty over here. You can find it here. And then his website is the Dr. Naude, right? And you can just come over here and it's got your information, right? And then you've also got your book, The Real Yasuke, History Behind the Samurai Myth. So you can go over there and take an order of that. This is the English language version. There's also a Japanese version that you can get. If you need that, you can contact me. I'll get you the right link. But I assume most of you are reading it in English. So
the
this
version is very popular. Yeah, it's had very good feedback, so I was quite happy with that. Took a lot of work to go into the details there. Yeah, the whole Assassin's Creed story, the whole total fake story. That's
Are you telling me, Doctor, that Assassin's Creed is not historically accurate? Are you telling me that?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
No! How dare you bigot! You
the
dirty
pain,
bigot!
The pain inside. I know. Yeah.
You dirty bigot. Jin Blades for 50 says the doctor said he's a language nerd. He's just like me. I've seen him on X. Very based.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, glad to find brothers in language nerdery.
Nerdery is a calling.
It is a deep, deep calling. Doctor, how dare you? How dare you slander Yasuke?
Look, I have nothing against him. He's someone that, unfortunately, if you want to talk about colonialism, having a dead black guy being made use of by a bunch of white folks, that sounds pretty bad. I mean, let the guy rest in peace. But no, they have to make a bunch of fake stories to
make
appease a crowd,
to make it something it wasn't, so they can appease people that they're not really appeasing and are not the Japanese people themselves, because it's pretty much just pissed them off. So it's very backwards.
Yeah, and the whole thing is they're saying, well, Japanese are racist, and it's like, Japanese, if you're a foreigner, you're just a foreigner. It doesn't fall into categories. You're just a foreigner. So it's not like they're picking specifically on him for skin color or who he was or something.
Now,
but
I had this comment
made into something that it's not, which is a bit ridiculous. But people do ridiculous things apparently.
Well, have you met Johnny Somali? We will soon. We will soon.
Well. We will.
Actually, that reminded me. So I had somebody in my chat, and they were saying gaijin is a racial slur, and then literally everybody in the comments of my video, including me, including my guest that was on then, are like, under no circumstances, like, gaijin. I mean, you can say any word in a mean way, but like at no point have I ever treated gaijin as a racial slur. I don't know if you have any comments on that.
I saw that, I think, and I've seen that a few times. People desperate to make it into something. How desperate are you for oppression where you have to manufacture your own? It must be in low supply, apparently. But the Chinese characters, so the kanji, literally just means outside person, someone from another place. Yeah, in Korean actually uses the same word. Wegugin is just the longer form of exactly the same word, pronounced differently.
Just less people know Wegugin than know gaijin, right? Because of anime.
It's a Chinese word too. Waigoren.
Yeah. Auslander it's the same meaning as Auslander. There's nothing necessarily wrong about that. It just means you're from another country. Like it's a literal translation. What other thing are they supposed to say, right? It's attempting to get them to change the language. Manufactured victimhood for sure. Crimson Splat, thank you for the 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Appreciate that. So we obviously so the doctor and I obviously connected over Johnny Somali, and trying to bring this guy to justice and kind of talking about how things are behind the scenes. And you've got students in Korea. You speak to Koreans. You live your life in Korea. So what would you say, talking to Koreans in your daily life, the ones that know about Johnny Somali, like what's their perception? What are their thoughts? What do you feel like their take is on Johnny Somali?
There's a specific Korean word, and I won't say the word because it's not a very pleasant word. But if you directly change it, it doesn't mean this, but if you change the sounds into Korean, it sounds very similar to the Korean word for stone child. Koreans will know what I'm talking about, but it's a different word.
Stone child. That's
yes. Okay. It sounds similar to the Korean word for stone child. People will know what I mean. Yes.
Okay.
So it means someone that's, I mean, for lack of a better word, a bit retarded. I mean, someone that can't control themselves properly, but it's not like they haven't been taught. It's just they're not a nice person. Yeah, so that's kind of the term that I usually hear for people, like a little bit not all there upstairs kind of expression. Yeah.
Oh, should we translate the thumbnail from today and the meaning of the thumbnail from today? Like, since that's a little bit of an Easter egg.
Yeah, the thumbnail from today means very stupid person, aren't I? Pretty much. It's basically what it means. Yeah.
Which is very accurate for Ramsey. It's very, very accurate for Ramsey. Would you say actually this is a good question because I want to confirm this. I've said this before, but at least like young people, most of them are familiar with, if not Johnny Somali, like the problem with nuisance streamers in general or nuisance streamers as a concept, right? I mean, I think younger people are generally aware of this. Would you say that's
Yeah,
correct? Koreans.
yes, yes, definitely. Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
I think it's becoming a bigger issue now. Yeah, because
And people are talking about it, right?
yeah, I mean, they've had nuisance streamers type people, Korean type nuisance streamers, but they don't last a long time because they get in trouble, obviously, very quickly. Yeah.
They
But
get arrested.
with him, mostly people, there's a lot of Korean people that are, regardless of bad blood between nations, right? There's a lot of Korean people that are really into Japanese culture, and they watch a lot of Japanese media, including
Sure.
my students. Yeah, I have a lot of Korean students that are very good at Japanese too, and Chinese.
Mhm.
Okay, we're stuck between two massive countries here, so we have the influences from there, and a lot of them, they knew him from what they saw from Japanese streams.
Right.
So I think it filtered in from there. So the ones that knew him maybe from there, and then others like Dogan, they probably picked up on that a bit later.
Yeah, Dalgun was very, very late to the party. People,
Right.
that's one of the things I reviewed in that infographic video. They made it as if Dalgun was the one tracking him for a long time. He actually wasn't. He came very late to the scene. He wasn't the first to physically confront him. He was the last, you might say, but not the first. So he was actually behind other Korean streamers like Bang TV and others that had been following Johnny a little bit longer in Korea and followed him kind of since he started making trouble in Korea. What do you expect from the trial? Have you been to a Korean trial before?
Not in person. I've just
Not in person.
talked to people, from professors I know that are
Familiar
in the legal fields, legal professors, law professors. So they deal in different things, not really so much criminal law, but we do have a police department in the other campus. So the professor there was the special, how should I say it? Like we call it a Jew in Korean. So it's like a state, basically, a province, the provincial top inspector. So looking after all the worst case, and it's Jola. Jola's where, like, if you watch a Korean movie, the gangsters, they all either use Jola dialect or the dialect from Busan.
Is that profiling? Is that profiling, doctor?
I mean, that's what they always use in the movies. Now, Jola people are beautiful, and if anyone ever travels to Korea, they should go to Jola province because the food in Jola is just so amazing.
But they
just
sound
don't make
gangster.
them angry.
Yeah. So do you think it's a mistake for these streamers, because that's where they're planning to go, from what everyone's told, is that this IP2 group, the Ice Poseidon 2 group, at least some of them, the ones that survive Japan and make it out of Japan, are allegedly planning to go to Busan. Apparently there's going to be a confrontation with Johnny Somali there. What would you say? That's probably a mistake. I mean, it's probably a mistake to come to Korea in the first place, but Busan, of all places, is probably not the place to F around. Is that fair?
Yeah, don't come to Korea, first of all.
First of all, right. First step.
People are already annoyed, and it's not going to go well. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll make sure it doesn't go well. And then, secondly, Busan is also a place known for very hot-blooded people. So if you want to make trouble there, the police response will also be incredibly fast because they don't play around there. So if you've seen crazy things on the news, it usually happens in Busan.
That's fair to say. There's been some crazy incidents in Busan, and also they've got they've had some crazy things go down there for sure.
Yes. So it's not the place to step on the wrong toes.
Do you think there may be a reading kind of the tea leaves, could you see like laws changing in Korea against like streaming in general or against nuisance streaming, like more broadly?
That's a good question. I know from what I've heard on the grapevine that they're already trying to implement new laws to kind of stop this thing. Korea's got a problem where it's very reactionary. When something happens, they react. But the thing is, it can be a problem, but then also when they react very strongly once the ball gets rolling. So in this case,
the hammer drops.
Yeah. They kind of give you the benefit of the doubt and enough rope to hang yourself, basically. And then when they decide to take action, they really take action. So I can see that they will be implementing laws. We've seen laws being implemented with things like the AI deep fakes, these kinds of things. And they're quite harsh to, dissuade people from going down that path as they should. And also with his recent business adventures.
Yes, his business adventures, which are completely illegal in Korea.
Extremely illegal. Yeah. Especially as a foreigner, I don't know what is going through his brain to do that, but apparently not much. But that's extremely illegal, and there's already lots of legislation in place for that. So I mean, in that regard, there's not much that needs to be done. They
don't need to create any new legislation to ban him from distributing pornography. With titles like the stepmother was resting on a sofa and then stepson arrives, and I'm not going to read the rest.
Okay, yes, let's stop there.
That's going to get, but what I'm saying, that's going to get the Korean police involved, and they're going to end up coming down on that. Very, very serious stuff.
And he claimed ownership over that, so
he's claimed in multiple ways, right? Both in his Discord through private messages and text messages that this is his business venture. So he's authenticated that this is his, plus, the domain ownership, right? So there's all of that. It's clearly Johnny Somali.
Yeah, I mean, they already have all that information. If we're talking about it now, they already have it.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to play this video. So there was a video that you actually shared with me, and I thought this was great. Once again, thank you. But what I wanted to show this video for was because it shows the Korean coverage and what they're paying attention to, and some things that they've picked up on that even perhaps we haven't.
Yeah, so this YouTuber has been covering him quite a bit. Yeah.
And this is a Korean language channel. Right, obviously you see by the title it's in Korean, right? Maybe you could give us the translation of the title here.
It's small.
Sorry. Let me see if I can pull it out. And will that any better?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me try.
영상으로 또 there we go. 영상으로도 또 하는 악마 유튜버 조니 소말리. The devil YouTuber Johnny Somali makes another video. 아직도 정신 못 차린 악마 YouTuber 최신 근황. The newest nonsense from the devil YouTuber who can't seem to 정신 못 차리는. 정신 차려 is like snap to your senses, so the person who can't come to their senses.
So I'll turn, I think for this one, I've got it auto translated to English, so it'll go over to English here, but I will pause it so you can give some commentary and some additional translation. Obviously auto translation isn't great, but this is once again gotten to a lot of Korean viewers, so it kind of shows how they're interpreting this and interpreting the information they're getting, some of which is the same as what we have, and some of which is actually different.
Fortress or the People's Republic of China. One time, and we're gonna do it again. Shout out to the CCP. Shout out Xi Jinping. Hell yeah, 중국 원수의.
조니, 소말리는 현재 한국에서 출국 금지를 당하고 한국의 어딘가에서 몸을 숨겨 안전히 지내고 있습니다. 하지만 최근 그의 친구로 알려진 행크가 또다시 한국으로 들어오면서 그들이 한국을 점점 도발하기 시작했는데요. 그들은 곧 부산에 더 많은 그들의 갱들을 모아서 민폐짓거리를 할
I'll
예정입니다.
stop there. This planning to gather more of their gang in Busan.
That's what Johnny Somali was claiming that he's going to do. So she's explaining basically that what he means by gang is not what Koreans think a gang means.
Yeah. It's not like a street gang. It's just like his streaming idiots that are going to go to Busan because they want to confront Ice Poseidon and crew because they've shunned them. So because Ice Poseidon and crew have shunned them, they want to confront them. They want to start violence. There's specific comments, which I think I show later, where Johnny says, I want to confront ABZ. So he's planning to physically confront these people, to try to start a fight, to try to start an incident, so he gets more attention. And so, people
which is also a crime because it's incitement.
Right. He's trying to incite.
That's another crime.
Added to the list, right? Added to the list.
그때가 되기 전에 계속 영상을 올리며 한국을 도발하고 있습니다. 이번에는 이놈들이 중국을 찬양하는 방식으로 한국을 욕했는데요. 저번에는 일본을 가지고 한국을 모욕했고 그로 인해서 출국 금지를 당하자 이젠 중국을 가지고 이러고 있는 것인데요. 내용은 정말 어이가 없는 내용.
And I guess to be clear, because they mentioned that they were banned for insulting Korea. It wasn't because they're insulting Korea alone. It was because they were committing crimes in addition to all those things. Right.
The auto translate, it doesn't really give all the nuance. Yeah.
Right.
It's really funny because her voice is so nice and polite, but she used a quite rude word when it said these guys.
How would you explain the rude word? Like, was it like these? Like
it means guys. It means guys, but it's just like an impolite way of saying it. It's like the superior would talk down to
a child,
like an inferior person. Yeah. Or I might say that to my puppy or something.
Okay.
So the issue is Hank's Chinese is also terrible. I just have to say that from the start.
It's not good. You're not giving him. So, Professor, you're not giving him an A+ on his Chinese exam.
He's getting 1 out of 10. I'm sorry, that's really bad. The tones are wrong, but just no. And that's from me. My tones are not amazing either.
How about Johnny's Chinese?
I don't even know what he's saying. I've actually shown clips of this to Chinese professors, and she looked at me and said, "What is he talking?" I said, "That's meant to be Chinese." She thought it was hilarious. Yeah, so
that's great.
Yep.
Sherry says the translation would be low life. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty. That's you can. It doesn't have an exact English equivalent, so it's used for guys, but not a very nice person. You probably use it to your dog when they do something bad.
Yeah, I guess that's something in a language, because English, we don't have like hierarchy, we don't have like higher, lower tone and status, right, baked into the language itself. So because
Korea
of that,
has
it's
a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, mother? We're over here. We conquer the South Seoul Fortress, or the People's Republic of China. One time, and we're gonna do it again. Who do you think sent Johnny Somali here? Shout out to the CCP. Shout out to Yasuke. Hell yeah, Jungo Wansui. Jungo Wansui.
Yeah, this is the part that like that's not good Chinese at all whatsoever.
No. And the thing is too, the Chinese are not particularly very chuffed with this. Besides Koreans, the next largest population in this country are Chinese. They're even more sensitive about these issues than Koreans. So that's not a hole you want to dig yourself into.
So wait a second, Doctor. Are you saying the Chinese are not going to accept Hank and Johnny with open arms?
No. I'm sorry. It's never happening. Like Hank can't travel because of a criminal record. He'd be arrested immediately, I'm sure. And if people knew about Johnny in China and the border security know, well, they know now because of our conversation here.
They definitely know now.
And it wouldn't be hard also to let them know. Then they'd be arrested immediately. China's very strict, especially now that they have the China's changed their policy to allow visa-free travel.
Correct.
So the airports. I was in China last week. So they're very strict with coming in and out of the country because they don't have the visa system. So they're very pedantic about checking that everyone's up to par. And yeah, I saw someone that had a criminal record get arrested while I was in line. So that would be something that would happen surely. Yeah. And the other thing is, if you go to if prison is something that happens, the most likely place to go would be the foreign prison. And in the foreign prison, the majority of the population is what ethnic group?
Chinese.
And some of those guys are really not, shall we say, low-level criminals. They're scary
fun
people.
Guys? Yeah,
no,
they're not fun guys. The triad guys in the jails are not just there for playtime and for saying naughty words on the internet.
No. So these are people with a very interesting sense of humor that won't be very comedical to him. I don't think that's a word. Comedical.
Yeah, it's not going to be. It's not going to be a fun.
It is a word now, but yeah. Yeah, it won't be fun. So antagonizing them is probably also not a good idea. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and someone mentioned visa-free travel depends on which country you're from. That's true, but we're analyzing it from the fact of like an American, right? Okay, Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael, and then Hank, who's a Korean, right? So I believe both have visa-free.
So almost all the European countries, Americans, Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. Pretty much all of them are now possible to travel visa free for a short period. Yeah.
The worst for $6.99 Canadian Ryobi says the worst collab, the Twinkie and his pimp Hanky Poo versus the base collab of the lawyer and the linguist. Thank you guys. Make sure you smash a like button, and if you want any of the good doctors information, that's pinned and in the description. Germ
slap
70
the like button like you slap a bag of rice. Slap it.
Gerb 70 for 5 says Johnny Somalia and Hank are great friends of the Chinese state, and the Korean state should let Johnny go to his biggest fans. He wouldn't last. If he even makes it past the border, Johnny Somali would not last very long in China. I'll tell you that right now. That's a fact. That's a big fact. Let's continue.
Look at all this land. America and China should split this land in half. Right? Yes, sir. Hell yeah. Junguo Wansui. And I got a message for all these Korean extras and needs who want to pull their age on it.
여기서 행크가
Should I even I don't know, should I even attempt to let you translate the attempts at them cursing or what?
It's people will understand that that's really bad Chinese swearing. So that's saying that in itself is going to be really annoying and disrespectful in the view of Chinese people in general. So
them saying it is bad.
Them saying it is bad because you're just saying like this random swear word out in the open to anyone, not in your own fighting conversation. So it doesn't bring people to your side. Let's put it like that. Swearing in Asia, people swear, but it's usually within a very limited context, and they don't go out and just say things like that out in the open, which doesn't do them favors.
In public sphere.
In public, it's considered very
rude,
very uncouth, very rude.
Got it. Let me continue here.
말한 중거 완수인은 중국 만세라는 뜻인데요. 또 이상한 헛잡소리하는 그들을 보니까 기가 찹니다. 그들은 자기들이 산속에 숨어서 저런 영상을 찍었기에 안전하다고 생각한 것인데요. 또한 예전만 해도
That's how you're laughing there. Do you have a
Yeah,
comment?
yeah. She's saying they're acting like tough guys in the middle of nowhere where no one can touch them.
Right, exactly.
Well,
which is what they've
they
been
look
doing for a while.
ridiculous.
They do look ridiculous.
또 도시 한가운데에서 영상을 찍던 소말리지만 이제는 그러기가 무서운지 사람
True, it's true. They will not go in the middle of the city because they know they're gonna get mobbed if they go in the middle of Seoul. So they're going into the literal nowhere. Somali walks around in a hoodie covering his face. He doesn't wear the hat. He hides it, and then he pulls it out for the video, and then gets ready again. You can even see Hank is wearing a hoodie there too.
사람이 하나도 없는 산속으로 들어가 영상을 찍은 쫄보 같은 모습입니다. 하지만 아무도 그들을 찾을 수 없을 것이라던 생각과 다르게 그들은 지금 한국인들로부터 새로운 위협에 빠지게 되었는데요. 한국이 어떤 나라인가요? 신상털기에 미친 나라입니다. 특히 한국은 전 세계 최고 수준의
Okay. Let me
화이트 해킹 능력을 보유한 국가인데요. 이 영상을 보고 몇몇 한국의 익명 해커들이 움직이기 시작했다고 합니다. 여기서 문제는 바로 이들 뒤에 보인 이기와 담벼락에
So there's apparently there's a person here following them?
모습이 찍혔다는 것인데요.
They say you can see it clearly. I don't. Did you see
hang
it?
on. Can you replay that bit again?
Well, yeah, I'm going to rewind this hacker part. So apparently they're saying that hackers are tracking them, right? So I'm just going to rewind this part here, right? Okay, here you go.
이 한국은 전 세계 최고 수준의 화이트 해킹 능력을 보유한 국가인데요. 이 영상을 보고 몇몇 한국의 익명 해커들이 움직이기 시작했다고 합니다. 여기서 문제는 바로 이들 뒤에 보인 이기와 담벼락의 모습이 찍혔다는 것인데요. 어느 한국의 해커는 이미 그들의 위치를 파악했지만 그들에게 뭘 해야 할지 모르겠다며 그들의 위치를 알고 싶은 한국인들에게는 그들의 위치를 직접 알려주겠다고 말하기도 했습니다. 한편 조니는
So I'll stop there. Yeah.
So they're filming and there's a brick wall behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So the hackers were able to pinpoint based on the brick wall where the brick wall was. And then triangulate that to whatever device they were using and then find out their exact location.
Holy shit, they used internet autism in order to pinpoint them. And oh god, wow. GeoGuess, that's great.
The Korean white hacking is quite insane. And there's a lot of competitions. Like my university in the other campus, they have like hacking tournaments for students. They'll make like a dummy computer with a dummy system basically that they have to hack into and have prizes and that kind of thing. So the white hacking, because white hacking is a way to, get around unethical hacking because it's kind of, to find weaknesses in the system, that kind of thing. So these kind of people with their autistic skills were able to pin down based on a brick wall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
If
that's the whole
Tony, I
white
would
hat
be concerned.
versus, it's like white hat
Pizza
versus
box,
black hat.
brick wall.
Yeah, so it's like the good side of hacking versus the
Right.
evil side. For those that aren't familiar with the terms white hat and black hat.
Yeah.
And then gray is like, is it morally ambiguous? But that said, that's very impressive. And yeah, I know there's people that can do that. I know they have the power, but the fact is that they've pissed off enough people that they now have people that could be doing other things, spending their time tracking Johnny and Hank. And now they can track them around, I guess, and find out where they are. I mean, that's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Not for them, but
yeah, not for them, but for as Johnny calls it, the content, right? This is the content.
for cloud.
He's made himself the content.
For cloud.
Analog Pill says for 500 yen. So I live in Osaka. I'm pretty sure the answer is obvious, but in case it isn't, what would you advise one should do if they run into one of these streamers? I mean, obviously, don't engage with them like physically. Don't do anything like that. Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't break the law, to deal with these guys. I would definitely, if you see them doing anything illegal, right, including, by the way, if they're filming you in Japan without permission, my understanding is you can call the police and just report them just for that, for filming you without permission. You know, and if you see them filming other people without their permission, I mean, there's no reason you can't report that because they should not be doing that. And that's a big problem.
You can also say, don't record me or my voice.
Right.
And then you've said it, you've given them the warning, and then call the police. Yeah. That's totally within your rights. Same in Korea. Most countries in Asia have that law. Yeah,
that's a law. I mean, so once again, that's just enforcing the existing law, and they don't want to deal with it, then there you go. Lenmar for €5 says, hello, I'm wondering how come Hank isn't being sued yet by the Korean authorities. He's doing lots of stuff that seems illegal in Korea. I think, you know, the cases may be building against Hanky Poo. He does have some suits that are probably coming against him. Like, I think there's some civil suits against him. He's also had some criminal reports and some criminal complaints. When they come down, we'll let you know. We don't have as much money on, we don't have as much information on Hank because most of the attention is focused on Johnny, and the leaks that get out are about Johnny, not necessarily about Hank. But I can't say actually whether or not there are any criminal trials set for Hank. We actually don't know. There could be, and I could just be not aware of them because I'm only aware of the Johnny related things and the Ramsey related things. So I don't want to say that he's not in trouble or he's not being investigated. He may well be. We just may not have heard about it yet. So I don't want to say he's innocent here because he's definitely not. And he's definitely been an accomplice of Johnny on a lot of his misadventures. Gamer Halim for 79,000 Indonesian rupiah says, wow, this is a really big problem for him. Not only Korea, but Asia. Will it affect the political system? Well, I don't want to get into politics because I think politics is separate. I will just say this to be politically neutral, that it's going to affect the laws. And I think that's pretty fair to say, right, Doctor, that the laws will probably change. So I think it's apolitical.
Now with the new administration in America, no one's going to try to throw him a lifeline or give him any kind of help like that. And the issue now is that if the Americans were to potentially help him in a hypothetical situation, it looks very bad to their allies like Korea and like Japan, where he's done these things. So they're not going to risk making an international incident over basically a low-level criminal. Exactly.
Real quick, Warranty Void gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. He also dropped an enjoy. Thank you so much for that, Warranty Void. Absolutely amazing. Appreciate the support. Everybody in the chat, please make sure you drop a thank you for Warranty Void for that. Tell them, you appreciate it. You know that Johnny is counting each and every membership today. So all 31 memberships today. He is very, very salty about that. So thank you guys for helping me trigger Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael. It's absolutely beautiful. He also gets mad about the nearly 2,000 people we have watching on multiple platforms. So appreciate everybody who's here today. Thank you guys so much. Inori Yuzuriha for 25 Hong Kong dollars says, I failed hard on the try not to cringe challenge. From the chant, they shout, may I have some fauna to rinse the cleanse? Okay, you want a little reaction?
Oh, that's the Zhongguo Mansui is the...
That's how it's supposed to be pronounced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get you a clip. Hold on.
Disgusting.
Can you translate what that means, or is it like something bad?
Zhongguo Mansui is like China 10,000 years. It's like China hooray.
Oh, it's like a China hurrah, China.
Yeah. They say it a lot. Mansui is manse in Korean. It's like hurrah.
Okay.
It just means 10,000 years, but it's used like a hurrah thing.
Ryobi says for $6.99, I still remember an idol from Japan who was able to be discovered of her location because of her selfie based on the reflection. I remember that. Johnny and I guess is that Hank? Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hanky Poo. They have no clue. All right, let's continue.
아직도 정신을 못 차렸는지 제2 한국 전쟁을 시작하겠다는.
This is actually from my stream here. So this is where I showed this clip And by the way, everybody is free to do the same thing this woman does and this channel does. I absolutely endorse and support people using clips on my channel or any information to make their own videos and get the word out there.
I think one of her clips on you got 1 million views in Korea. I have to check.
Nice.
Her channel's only, I think she's got about 30,000.
But gets a lot of some good views. I mean, this video when I was clicking on it, almost had 50K.
Yeah, she especially her Johnny Somali stuff, because she translates a lot of the stuff you do into Korean so that people know. Yeah.
말을 팬들에게 알렸는데요. 그는 한국에서 있었던 첫 번째 일은 소말리의 제1차 한국 전쟁이고 이젠 제2차 한국 전쟁을 시작하겠다고 알렸습니다.
So this video is new. The guys. Who's this guy? I've never seen him before. First time I've seen this guy. So it's really weird. Platty, thank you for gifting the 10 Legal Mindset memberships for the mindset inception right now. Mindset within mindset within mindset. Thank you for that. King Lugia says it means long live China is the gist of it. Okay, yeah. Germ70 for 5 says when you try to get into the history book over a law on IRL stream, only to be instead be in the book for inspiring the legalization of vigilante justice. Yeah. It's, I think what Johnny started out thinking how this was going to go has wildly deviated from how it actually went.
I think so.
No. Sketch Therapy for 8 says any chance IP equals Ice Poseidon becomes JS warning in Japan. I think I'll say one thing. I know that Ice Poseidon has I think a lawyer on retainer or something, and he seems to be a little bit more cautious and realize situations a little bit more than Johnny. But for any streamer, forget about Ice Poseidon, for any streamer, especially the IRL streamers, they're playing a very dangerous game if they're getting into provoking other people and pushing these high tension conflict scenarios, particularly when they do it with locals and others that are non-streamers, and even with other streamers, because they could also press charges. So now you're getting into a situation where what we're going to have in Busan is former Kick streamers confronting current Kick streamers. So it's going to be a really weird situation.
They'll just all get arrested.
That'll probably be what happens if they all show up there. Ryobi says this translation is nuisance streamer. How would you pronounce that? I guess.
I'm not sure the first one. Wandu Shinja.
Yeah, just means nuisance streamer.
Dictionary.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me get my dictionary out.
I don't know if they've updated it for nuisance streamers.
Yeah, I'm not into the internet slang.
Yeah.
So
well, that's actually one of the things that I've been bringing up because you actually noticed this as well. There's a lot of fake Japanese accounts, especially. I know there's some in Korean and other languages, but there's a lot of people using machine translation to try to cause situations. And even in the Johnny Somali case now, there's been fake accounts, and there's fake accounts in Japan right now that are tracking these nuisance streamers, but they're trying to post in Japan. They're just using bad Japanese or Japanese that would not be used by a Japanese person.
Yeah. So it's Mihua Passenger.
Mm-hmm.
Mihua Passenger is
that's what they're saying. Yeah. Mihua Passenger.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I've never taken Chinese. Yeah. I've never taken Chinese, so I'm not even going to pretend I'm good here. Thank you for that.
There's a lot of accounts that are, LARPing as someone else, but especially Korean and Japanese, it's technologies at a point where it's very easy to see machine translation.
Sure.
The way grammar is, the way the term is it technically right? Yes, but nobody writes like that because you sound like a machine writing. Yeah.
Yep.
Let me get this one. Chinese is a little bit easier to get away with than the others, but Korean and Japanese grammar is not a joke. So machine translation doesn't have a good time.
No, not even close. This one is really good. I normally don't get non-supers, but this one says, can someone give me a short update for the trial of Johnny? So here's what I'm going to do. And also, Gruß aus Deutschland. I love going to Germany. When the day before the trial, or 2 days before the trial, like 48 hours. I'm going to give you, this is what the charges are, because I doubt they're going to add extra charges a day before the night before. It's possible, anything can happen, but I doubt they're going to add something like the night of the trial. So I'm going to say, here's the charges that he's facing right now. Here's what's going to happen at this first trial. Here's how this is going to go. It's not going to be over on Friday. It's not going to be over next week. It's not going to be over the week after that. It's going to be a while before it's over, at least a couple months, at least a few months at a minimum, even if it went super, super fast. So, we'll go through that and we'll give you a quick summary. Right now, he's facing 3 charges. He's facing 2 violation of the Minor Crimes Act and 1 obstruction of business or interference with business. So those are 3 total charges. One of which has pretty severe, can have jail time. The other in the Minor Crimes Act are less severe, right? So one is more severe, one's less severe, right? But that said, typically for obstruction, you don't get a very long time in jail. However, because it's a pattern of broader criminal behavior, and because there's, a lot of things pending against this guy, and because he's never apologized for what he's done, and he hasn't submitted any form of apology. In fact, he's doubled down and tripled down on what he's saying. This could change the calculus for Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael. And of course, on this will be March 7th in the morning. It's going to be the trial. I will be there in Korea to do it. The doctor is the translator. He will be there. And we're going to have a team of people there, right? And if you'd like to throw in, buy everybody a coffee, I've got my Ko-Fi set up, Ko-Fi/Andrew Esquire. You can donate there if you want to, get a donut for the team or something like that. You can just throw a couple shekels that way. It'll help. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing the trial on the 7th, the first day of the trial, and it's just the beginning.
Wird am Freitag einen sehr schlechten Tag haben. He's gonna have a bad day on
Friday. Bad day. Doctor's term is better than mine. All right, let's continue. Are confirmed, by the way, and we showed this last stream. They are confirmed to be living together. So Hank himself has said that he is sleeping together with Johnny Somali under the same roof. I had to add the under the same roof part for legal purposes. Louis Callie for 5 says, don't forget the turbo autism involved in tracking down the HWNDU flag using star charts and FAA flight. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's a whole new level.
Mercenary says, well, I'm pressing charges on a Karen for assault on me. If a Karen assaults you, yes, you should press charges against her. Definitely do that. Mercer says, going to send a legal demand for money and anger management. The anger management is the cherry on top. Yeah, definitely. If someone assaulted you, you need to pursue it to the full extent that you can. Sign of Darkness says, jail Johnny Somali and drop some cabbages. Yes, thank you so much. Right? That's Hank's words, not mine. Hank said that. So, he's officially praising the CCP, attacking South Korea, pretty much slandering South Korea. Says, I low-key need that. It's going to be Korean War Part 2 when he goes live. So he is planning to at some point come back and go live. Just not yet. This was before we saw some of his videos. So we saw like this comment, and then literally within a couple hours, he posted those weird photos with Hank, those TikToks where he's in Hank's room, and it's clear he's in Hank's room. So he's been making content now. He hasn't gone live in the sense that he hasn't turned on his own stream, hit live, and open it up for live streaming. But what he's done is he's made these TikToks and other videos which don't really have live comments or anything else enabled. So he hasn't yet gone live, but he has made content.
I mean,
so he's going to come
like
back,
this,
and he's
comments like this put him, in the crossfire of three different nations.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that you want to make a Korean War, which was not really that long ago now in history.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people whose relatives that survived through that are still alive. And China, Korea, North Korea, South Korea, they're all involved in that. And it's an insult to all of them. You're not making any friends by making comments like this. So I don't know if they realize what they're saying. You don't make comments like this in Asia. you be quiet and you just live your life out quietly and don't say controversial things like this if you want to have a peaceful stay wherever you are.
Right. It's not gonna work well for you.
No. Sorry. As you were.
So no. Let me continue. Anticipating, he knows that when he comes back, it's going to be a problem, that there's going to be issues. He also knows that there's going to be beef with other streamers. And in fact, he's trying to start beef with other streamers. It's kind of part of his gig. So here's the one I told you about, where he kind of confirms that at least one other streamer, ABZ, is going to come to Korea. I really can't wait. And since, by the way, this was earlier, and I've since confirmed with multiple sources that the intent was for that whole group to come to Korea. So they were doing the IP2 group, which we'll watch the little video where they get kicked out of the cruise later, because I haven't had a chance to watch that one. But they were planning, their whole theme was 100 days in Japan. Well, anybody who knows anything about a tourist visa knows that you cannot stay in Japan for 100 days. That's impossible. You must leave and come back, and that'll allow you to renew your visa, your tourist visa, for another 90 days. So you can get 180 days kind of back to back, theoretically. Now, the funny thing is, for this crew, once they leave, based on the reports they have so far, there is nothing preventing immigration from denying them all. And actually, there's been recent cases. In fact, I was watching one of it was a UK activist, and they were actually denied entry to the US on a tourist visa, right? So presumptively, they should have been allowed in the US. The US just said no. And people get mad about it, but I'm like, that's our right as a country. We do not have to admit any particular given person. We can just say no. So Japan could just turn around and say, yeah, we're not giving you another 90 days. Maybe try again later.
Like you've said in previous videos, just because you have a passport doesn't mean that you have the right to be in another country. That's completely at the discretion. Even if the border guard doesn't like you for whatever reason, it's within their right, without having to tell you why, that they don't let you into the country.
I mean, a passport pretty much just allows you to leave your own country, if you think about it.
It's an identity document. That's all it does. It says who you are. The little funny script on the inside, let the bearer pass, that's all just fluff to make it look nice, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it's not your right to be anywhere in another country. Yeah.
Zero San says, do people forget to be civil in another country? I think most people behave. I travel all the time. Most travelers are very polite. They're very great. There's no problem. This is a rare thing, but it's still a problem, because if it's even 1% of people, that's too many that are traveling. It's still too many. And the problem is that there's copycats. And literally, I talked about Johnny Somali having a copycat. We're going to talk about that later with his copycat DBR666, who also is following exactly what he's doing. And it kind of shows the Johnny Somali copycat effect is very much real. Mercenary X21 says, Johnny thinks he's a Dark Knight Joker. He's a jester. I think even jesters had more skills than he did. Like, court jesters had to be like semi-talented, right? Let's continue. Meet ABZ, who's another streamer. This is another nuisance streamer in Korea. So he's already planning to, apparently he knows that this guy is going to come to Korea, or he's heard this guy is going to come to Korea, and he's planning to confront him for quote unquote the content, which is kind of verified by these text messages he has with ABZ.
이놈을 진짜 어떻게 해야 할까요? 한편 한국의 커뮤니티에서는 모두들 제2차 소말리의 전쟁을 환영하고 있다는 소식도 들려옵니다. 반응들은 오히려 좋다. 황금 고블린 2차 이벤트 시작인가? 같은 반응들이 있었습니다. 다만 여러분, 소말리는 현재 유튜브
Is that translation Cash Goblin? Is that accurate?
Yeah, so she's saying some people are like, okay, come try your luck, basically. We'll sort you out. If you want to start the second war, then we'll win the war, basically.
Yeah.
So if people are saying that, that's another reason to don't come to Korea. Go back to wherever you're from and just go flip burgers. probably don't have even the skill to do that, but you know.
Yep. I don't think, and I don't think I said this before. I don't think he can get a proper job. I think he would be fired from any job that he came. People would report him to the people would be calling his management. I mean, I don't think he can go anywhere really with his level of notoriety. And his real name is out there, Ramsey Khalid Ismael. So people now know widely about who this guy is.
Yeah. The funny thing is, Ramsey Khalid is Khalid in Arabic. Yeah, Khalid Ismail. Khalid means forever. So his name is going to be sticking around like a stench forever. Not good for him. It's quite poetic.
Yeah. And this is, so he's commenting that on his YouTube revenue being cut off because obviously he's not monetized on YouTube.
를 창출할 수가 없습니다. 커뮤니티 가이드라인을 넘었기 때문이죠. 그 때문에 현재 소말리는 자신이 속한 갱의 멤버들을 불러와 아 잠깐만요. 이들은 자기 자신을 갱이라고 부르지만 사실 갱은 아니고 그냥 방송인 친구들 모임
They're
같은
just a gathering of dumbass streamers.
Yeah.
They're not a real gang.
So if you say gang in Korean, it's not talking about like a street gang. It's more the idea is like a mafia type thing, like an organized a bit. Yeah, there's different words we use, but like gang is like a more organized, you know, guys in suits kind of criminal organization. But she's like, it's not a gang. It's just like a bunch of retards.
Thank you, Nira, too, for the 20 legal mindset membership. Yes. No, Johnny is having big emotional damage right now because he's seeing that come in. So thank you so much for the good support of the channel. Thank you for supporting me. Once again, if you want to support my guest as well, go to any of his links, which are pinned, and give him some support.
Yeah, just buy the book.
Or buy the book. Yeah, the Yasuke book. It's good.
갱 아니에요. 아무튼 이들의 친구들을 부산으로 모아 제2차 한국 방송 전쟁을 시작할 계획이라고 합니다.
Hello. To the people.
This is the one that was shot in Hank's room. A lot of people said this isn't the Chinese flag. This is the Chinese PLA flag. So they weren't familiar with the PLA flag.
And the creases are even the same. If you're going to try and make a different background, at least try to make the creases in your flag a bit different. Make it look mildly not the same.
When you can see the same frame of the poster that he's got over here in this little kind of setup on the left-hand side, that's also the same as Hank's video. Like clearly exactly the same.
Of Japan and the people of the world. I want to make this message because I've been gone for a long time. Let me introduce myself if you don't know me already. I am Johnny Somali. I am part of the criminal.
I'll stop it here. His name is, you always have to point it out, Ramsey Khalid Ismael. Ramsey Khalid Ismael.
Khalid.
Never forget that. Khalid. You know what? I'm so sorry, chat. I'm so sorry. I forgot to Khalid it every single time. So I will now be Khaliding all over the place whenever I pronounce his name.
Since live streamer gang called CX. I am a high-ranking member in the black sheep of the family. We are ran by our top leader, Ice Poseidon. He's the leader of CX and Miskiff, the leader of OTK. We are part of a live streaming international criminal mafia of nuisance streamers that have came to Japan to bring you freedom, to bring you American values. You weak will never stop us. You will never stop CX. You will never stop Johnny Somali. You will never stop Ice Poseidon, Paul Danino, who is my mentor, my teacher, my leader.
It's trying to once again get that association so that he and also like people know his name, but saying his name and then trying to put that out there so that Japan punishes him.
I'm just horrified by his grammar when he talks. He doesn't conjugate his verbs properly. Did you learn to read in school? What did you do?
You do know, Doctor, you do know that like the general education level is falling. Like in like literacy rates are actually like going down.
I can see that right here before my eyes, living proof.
A proper for 2, Michael Turner for 5 says a proper job for Ramsey after serving a sentence as a caretaker for Andy Ditch. Thank you. Mercenary X21 for 2 says, Johnny pulled this in US of A. Someone would bang bang. Yeah, once again, I don't like to encourage or hint about that. But what is true is that different countries would end up differently. And there's a reason why he doesn't F around in certain countries. There's a reason why after Gino nearly got his ass beat in Thailand when he messed around with some street gangsters, some actual gangsters, nobody else fucked around, right? There's a reason for that. Nicholas Atkins, RKI will be around the cabbage fields forever. Wouldn't that be great? Mercenary says, how to spell Halide? Halflim? Jeff Dunham? Wait, what?
Yeah, I think
I didn't get
Jeff
this.
Dunham has this thing where he has Ahmed, the tourist, and he's like, how do you spell it? He's like Ahmed Flemmer.
Got it.
Yeah, I think it's
Khalid,
from that. Yeah, just Dunham.
Oh,
H-A-L
Flem. Yeah, got it. I like it. Flem, yeah, Flem. Okay, got it. Very nice. Thank you guys for explaining that one. Jiwan Emma Yoon, hey, thank you for the Manwan. Says, I'm trying to understand why he's doing my country, South Korea. Him and his friends come to Busan, Korea. They'll not. Welcome to anywhere in South Korea. Do you have any thoughts about that? I'll let you do why they're bothering South Korea, Doctor.
Korea is a very nice, welcoming, safe country. It's very similar. People will get upset when I say, but it's very similar to Japan in that regard. You can walk late at night. You don't need to worry. And I guess they thought that it's going to get the same reaction. But Korea has a long history of being stuck between 3 giant countries. It's Russia in the north, China to the west, and then Japan to the east. So people have a much, let's say, they're more hot-blooded because they have to survive in history.
Right.
So they're polite, but they're not as docile, I think, as he was expecting them to be. I'll just say, 약간 이 사람이 정신이 좀 이상하기 때문에 한국이 안전해서 여기 와서 이런 이상한 행실이 하는 것 같아요. 그래도 뭐 곧 감옥 갔기 때문에 너무 걱정 안 해도 될 것 같습니다. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
If it was not for Ice Poseidon, I would have never came to Japan. And if you try to arrest Ice Poseidon, if you try to stop Paul Danilo or any of our group, if you try to stop ABZ Abdullah, the terrorist, the one that paid for all of our deals, if you try to stop ABZ Abdullah, the fat fuck, I promise you I'll be back in Japan soon. You'll never stop Kang Joel.
He cannot go back to Japan.
He can't go back.
A hard ban for any crime. Any crime, you're getting a 5-year, right?
Yeah, but 5 years is also just, it's the number 5 year, but they can indefinitely just keep renewing it. They don't ever have to let him in, even when it runs out. I don't know if people don't understand this. It's the same for Korea or China. If you get banned for 5 years, it's not really 5 years. It's pretty much just a ban. Unless there's some crazy situation where like your relative is dying here and you have to come to help them, or there's a funeral or something like that. There might be some extenuating circumstances, but otherwise they don't owe it to you to let you in after the 5 years.
Yep, they don't have to. They can look at it and say, yeah, no, we're not letting you in. Like, we know who you are. Oh, we're well aware. We have a special file. We have little notes here, in the immigration file that's digitized, and say, yeah, you're a nuisance streamer and you've caused nothing but problems here. Yeah, we're not letting you in.
Yep.
And these people used to be able to get away with this when systems were not digitized, but even Japan, which is very analog, has moved a lot to digital systems. So even the places that were analog are becoming digital. Even here in Thailand, they're digitizing a lot of stuff. So,
right.
People slipping through the cracks is not going to happen as much, particularly with people who are problems abroad, which is why people should I encourage people to behave when they're abroad. Once again, if you inadvertently and accidentally break an obscure law, that's probably not going to end you getting up in major serious trouble where you're banned forever. But if you are out there intentionally doing things to cause a scene, to cause pressure, and many of which can be illegal or questionably illegal, that's a different story, and that's what we have here. A lot of people try to say, well, Andrew, have you never broken a law in your life? No, of course I have, right? I've been caught speeding, etc., right? But there's a difference between, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. It's horrible, right? It's absolutely horrible. I'm a horrible human being, right? There's a difference between doing things, number one, in your home country, right, where you're aware of the laws or you're aware of like risk reward. And if I speed, am I going to get caught for doing 5 miles an hour over? Is that the acceptable limit? Versus, hey, I'm going to, yell at somebody, threaten them, right? Maybe say that my friends are going to hurt them. I've got a text message, which I'm not even going to bring up today because I thought about it and I want to censor it. But Johnny has repeatedly threatened people with violence and threatened to use himself and his fans to execute violence against others, which is generally not okay in any country.
No, I would say not. Yes.
Yeah.
Most countries have incitement laws for reasons such as that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was speeding. I know it's horrible, right? It's horrible, guys. I'm doomed forever. Adam Galaxy says, not long left on the trial. No, it's Friday. So, I mean, we're on Sunday right now in Asia. So we're on the 2nd. It's the 2nd over here in Asia right now. So on the 7th in the morning, Asia time, will be the trial. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's finish this out.
You'll never stop Q-Sama, Showtime, and all these kids. We will destroy Japan. And I promise you, if you arrest any of them, if you stop any of them, if you attack any of them, I will come back to Japan and I will bring back vengeance. But
you
us
can't.
streamers, we run your country.
He literally can't do any of this. Yeah, this is a completely empty threat. Like there's no teeth to this.
I mean, saying that makes him look bad because everybody knows he can't go there. I don't understand what the
it's been known. He not only is he banned from Japan, he can't even leave Korea yet. So how he can go there is just insane. Hidubixu says lies of Johnny. Warning: if Somali keeps telling lies, only this will grow, not her nose. Rated M. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Also, Zero-san for 5 says, is prison enough to determine these deter? I think you mean deter these nuisance streamers. What will ultimately take to remind them this is real life? I think serious prison time. Not just a bit. I think a good amount.
I mean, they have to be the center of attention like a child for every 10 minutes of the day. So being sentenced to prison is painful for them because no one's going to pay attention to them in prison unless it's in a very pleasant way.
A not fun way in the shower. Yes. Yeah.
So, I don't think that a short term would do that because obviously he hasn't learned his lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely a year or 2 would definitely break him or any streamer because they're all desperate for attention, frankly. Get a real job. Sorry.
Real quick, I want to answer this because I've Rhymes with Orange. You clearly haven't watched my other streams on this because I've talked about this really insensitive. His point was to frame up IP as head of a criminal organization. Yes, that's what I mentioned, right? That's what I said. His intention, and I'll say it one more time, he can't do any of this. His intent is to get Ice Poseidon and them in trouble by painting them as a criminal organization. That's what I said. So
they kind of are.
Right. Well, whether or not you feel they are is up to your opinion, right? Some people can say they are, they aren't, right? I mean, has everybody done something bad? No, right? Not everybody in that little group that's there. There's like 15 of them now, 30 of them. There's a lot of them there in Japan. Not all of them have done something wrong. Some of them have done nothing so far, right? However, what you could say is the environment is conducive to those sort of things happening. And I think that's fair enough. And the chats certainly promote, you could say at the very least, the chats promote the lowest IQ of behavior. They promote the worst of behavior.
I don't understand people that watch this content. What do you get out of watching people being horrible to other people?
Well, the thing is that they'll say, because they want to see action, they want to see something crazy happen. So when something, when nothing is happening, aka to them nothing is happening, aka nobody's yelling, screaming, the police aren't there, they'll say, oh, there's no content, this is non-tent, this is boring, blah blah blah. But when the police come there, they'll get stupid and run away and do all sorts of other things. So it's usually very young people, usually teenagers, and very, very young people who are doing this. And that's kind of reflected in the streamers themselves, who are mostly young, with some exceptions. But it's mostly very, very young people. I mean, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids, very young kids. Mercenary for 2 said, Johnny threatened violence in the USA. He's done. Yeah, that would not work in the US. Nicholas Atkins for 10. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Somewhere, Johnny is having
emotional damage.
It's true. G1 Emma Yoon for Manwan says, thank you for answering my question. My pleasure. I was a student in America. Oh, well, I'm glad. Hope you had a wonderful time studying in the US. I know he goes to jail, but he doesn't know Busan citizens' temper.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He shouldn't go there.
Yeah.
부산 사람들이 열이 많아요.
Yeah, should not go to Busan to fuck around with people in Busan. It's not going to work out well. Ryobi says, I think he just wants the nuisance streamers in Japan in trouble. Yes, that's exactly what he wants. So he wants to try
passenger. I learned it.
Yeah. Let's say it one more time.
미호 passenger.
That's the nuisance streamer.
Yeah. Chinese. I learned a new word. Yeah.
Learn a new word.
Thanks
there
for
you
teaching
go.
me. New terminology.
64 says, wasn't he trying to frame the other streamers? Yes, correct. Ignore my last super chat. My fault. You're good, bro. You're good. And we're going to show you how it was successful. So how Johnny was successful in framing them. And in a way, I wouldn't paint this on Johnny either. I would also paint this on the many people in Japan that are annoyed with nuisance streamers in general. But we'll watch that video after this.
Chat. And make sure you take out Mizkif. This is the leader of OTK. This is the top general. These are the 2 top leaders. This is the CX vice president and the president right here. You need to get Mizkif and you need to get Paul Denino Ice Poseidon. With the CX in chat. I love you, Paul Denino. You're my mentor, my leader, everything. Sayonara.
부산. 한바탕 태풍이 불 것으로 예상되는데 왜 하필 부산으로 정한 것인지는 모르겠지만 현재 소말리의 친구들이 전부 일본에서 민폐짓거리를 하고 있고 부산으로 가는 비행기가 인천으로 가는 비행기보다 값이 더 싸기 때문에 비용을 절약하기.
I don't know what you're saying there, but I would speculate, because the translation blinked out, but I would speculate, just in my personal opinion, that it's because they're going to take the ferry there, because they were trying to take ferries. Now, whether or not they're going to be able to do that, especially after the video we show after this, whether or not they're actually going to be able to ferry is up in the air, because I think the goal for them was to be streaming 24/7. So they were going to try to be streaming the entire time.
She was saying that it might be because the Busan has a long kind of history with Japan, so there's a lot of travel and trade between Busan and Japan. So airplane tickets are quite a lot cheaper from Busan. So she was saying they might be going there because basically the tickets are cheaper to get there. Yeah, it's one of the few cities that's directly connected, as you said, with the ferry as well. I wanted to go on the ferry, and then it's like I have to go to Busan and then go to Japan. So I just end up flying.
See, it tends to be a little quicker. I think, my friend Josh took it from Osaka, and he says it's a nice experience, but obviously it's not the fastest way to get there.
No.
By far. People in the chat are saying Miskith isn't a nuisance streamer, he's just entering Japan. Look, I'm not trying to call anybody out specifically, etc. I'm just trying to say this is what Johnny was trying to do. Obviously, he's mad because he's kicked out, right? And then people are saying he's not even in Japan anymore. Remind you, Johnny made this video, like 2 weeks ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago now. So obviously, I think he was there, and then he did leave. And a lot of the streamers have since left. DBR 666 left. I think Sam Pepper left. World of T-shirts left. So a lot of the streamers that were there and caused problems ended up taking off, right?
위에 부산으로 모이려고 하는 것으로 보입니다. 과연 소말리의 제2차 한국 전쟁은 어떻게 될까요? 소말리는 여전히 부산의 이미지가 한국에서 어떤지 잘 모릅니다. 서울에서는 몇 번 맞는 것으로 끝났지만 부산에서는 어떻게 될지 상상만 해도 무섭네요.
Okay, so that was that
She
video.
says it's scary to think what would happen to him if he tried that in Busan.
Yeah.
Because
I
Seoul
think
and Busan are like two different countries.
It's much different. It's much different. Professor, can you get the translation on this one from Ryobi 279?
Sorry, I was saying it's the Chinese word, but it's actually the Japanese word. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, just
That's
off
why
right
I
there.
was
It's all
like
good.
my brain was in working in two different
It was-
languages. I'm sorry.
it
Yes,
was
it's
chugging
actually
along
the
in
Japanese. It's actually the Japanese term. Yeah. Now I have to look up the Chinese term, and I have to look up the Japanese kanji to know the pronunciation.
Sketch Therapy says driving is legal. Did the getaway driver know when? Well, that's different. I mean, that's can part of be criminal conspiracy, right? And that can also be like there can be assisting felonies, right? So there's things that were invented for the getaway drivers, right? Specifically if they have knowledge of what they're doing, right? It's different if it's a cabbie versus somebody who's been in it from the beginning and had reason to believe it's a criminal enterprise. So speaking of getting in trouble, this is from Japan. So doctor, switch your mind to Japanese now. And this is a video. We have not shown this live, but this is actually the Ice Poseidon crew. I think this was earlier this week or last week. And they received many reports. So many people have been tracking them and following them, right? Once again, I think they think that I'm following them or making calls. Of course, I'm not, right? However, there are a lot of people that are, including, as I mentioned, a lawyer and member of the government there that is on them and following everything they do, including making propositions to change the laws regarding streaming in Japan. So let me play this out and watch what happened to this whole crew. There's a bunch of them as they were trying to board a boat in Japan.
Hello. We are from Japan Coast Guard. Okay. And I'm a director of Coast Guard and Rescue Department. From the Kagoshima Coast Guard office. Okay. And unfortunately, even though you have already bought this ferry ticket, you cannot get on this ferry today. Okay. Because the ferry owner decided that they refused. Oh yeah. Okay. So we can refund? Yeah, you can. Okay. So we're getting off the boat. Yeah, okay. Please. Sure. Why? Because they acknowledge that you have already done a lot of troublesome activities in Japan, in like a lot of places. Like what? Like in Shinkansen and in... So viewer say fake stuff, call. But you have distributed your live action, right? In now. Yeah. Right? I mean, we're live. And many people have watched your troublesome activities. No trouble. Yeah, according to the ferry owner. Yeah, he got lied to. Fake. Right. Somebody call. Wouldn't we be in jail if we did something? Yeah, we would be. Yeah, no troublesome activities. So we didn't break. I mean, we'll leave. I mean,
there's the word that they were.
Sorry, I'll pause here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's the Japanese word, the nuisance streamer. The kanji was there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
learn nuisance. That.
I'm real life studying Japanese here. It's
You're
great.
Expanding your vocabulary for sure. Cat Smash says if Johnny Somali was in China, he would not be Bing chillin'. Oh, that's a great meme. Big FX for 5 says, can his lawyer go to the mentally challenged, debilitated angle to escape prosecution and or sentencing? If so, what are the implications? No, that's not something you can do. That doesn't work that way. They don't have that sort of out like we do in the West, where you just say, oh, I have mental problems. And like they just say, oh, sure, you're out. Which isn't even really how it works in most states' criminal systems. But
that would be really bad for him if they actually sent him to an asylum.
It's not good. It's
if he's not crazy now, when he goes there, he will be. It won't take long. Yeah.
Drew S says, love to see it. Yeah, I know. It's just very karmic. G1 Emayun for another Manwan says Japan to Busan ticket is cheaper than Japan to ICN. They'll take ferry when it comes to Busan. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And that could be it, that both the tickets are cheaper for the planes or the ferry. I do think they'll try to take the ferry. They may get blocked again. Now, this is not the ferry to Busan. Let me be clear. They were going from one island to another island, but within Japan. But I think they may have a similar situation when it comes to the ferry to Busan. They could get rejected again.
Yeah. So
They already
apparently
decided-
this is a private ferry company.
Mhm.
The background to this, so the owner of the company is in full right to refuse service. Yeah. This is when Johnny came to Korea, he was going to go to a K-pop dance studio and film there. And there were kids there. So when he was streaming, I saw the name of the place and called it and let them know who he was. And then they weren't so welcoming after that. Yeah. Especially with kids around. Yeah, they're like, you can't film here. So they gave him a refund. And I think something similar has happened here, where Japanese viewers have obviously been following their stream and then reported it to the company.
Well, let me say thank you for keeping Johnny away from kids, because what he did, especially when we watch those videos in Lotte World, what he's done around children is disgusting and vile. And especially those text-to-speech messages, which he claims he has no control over, but he kept on full blast even around children, even when he knew they were sexual in nature, was vile and disgusting and criminal. You know, it was absolutely bad. So yeah, that is appreciated. The doctor's mark there on the on stopping Johnny in Seoul. Inori Yuzuraha for 25 Hong Kong says, "Gotcha, Professor. Mewaku Haishinsha Chinese translation would be."
Okay. I have to look it up too. Yeah. My eyes are so bad. I'm gonna have to take pictures of stuff and look it up.
You could come later and look this up, go back, rewind the stream, an hour and 26 minutes in.
I have a massive screen up there because my eyes are so bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it can be small. It can look small.
Thank you, Inori. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Yeah. Let's see here. And then Mercenary says, "Can we make an Ahmed puppet of Johnny as well? That would be funny, except for I don't want to put my hand in Johnny. I think Hank probably does enough of that." Let's continue.
To refuse, you are voting, and they can refund.
Yeah, that's fine.
So sorry for that.
Okay.
Yeah, please get over that.
Okay.
It's so Japanese too, in the polite way of yeah, you can't get on, but we're sorry. Please get the fuck off. Right? That's essentially saying it that way without saying.
Walk this way. Can we get our stuff?
This way. And please call your friends, old friends.
Everybody. Okay, there's a lot of us.
Maybe nine people, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab my bags.
Yes. Thank you. I understand.
Okay, did you tell them that it's fake?
Yeah, they said because of things on YouTube and whatnot, we're not going to win this battle.
Yeah, we're not going to win. No, I know. I just want you guys to know that we haven't done anything wrong. It's just... Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, they edited this, but this is when they're in this is when he was arrested in Thailand. This is a clip they threw in here for pointing of
what's it with this guy and liking vertically challenged people?
Yeah, I know. It ends up a lot of streamers is like Ice Poseidon and his little buddy.
For the actions that I've done nights ago at a hotel in Bangkok, Thailand. Bro, they brought out the Coast Guard, bro. They got what the fuck they brought out here, man? They got the fucking military up in here, bro. They brought out the fucking military for us, dude. What the fuck's going on?
Somebody zoomed in on one of the streams of the cars, and you could see how pissed off the driver was because it was a higher quality photo. It was from somebody else's stream, but you could see the driver was like, "I can't believe we have to deal with these dumb foreigners." of the military truck.
The police have other jobs to do. They don't need to be running around and dealing with people like this.
Yeah. They've got better stuff to do. They've got way better stuff to do. Let's see. Okay, so that was one. So let me show you guys something, and this is an update about Johnny Somali and his little buddy DBR 666. So this is a little bit of an update of what's going on with Johnny and what he's been up to. So, Johnny, I think he thinks like as of Monday, he's going to be back. He's going to be free to go. He's going to just walk the streets and, and fly out there and be making content somewhere else again. That's definitely not going to be the case. But he has been begging to get on this platform called Party, right? So, I mean, I have some screen caps here of him literally begging, right, to get on this platform, saying he has hundreds of millions of YouTube views, mainstream media articles, saying it's a good opportunity, can bring publicity to the platform. I'm telling you, let's work. Let's go on cam. Why time me out? Because he was getting timed out. He was begging so hard. I can help Party go mega viral. I'm being serious. I'll stream exclusively there. Let's go on cam. He's kind of weird. Like, it's like what an Indian scammer would say. Like, I want to go on cam with you. Like, no.
I mean, they might go viral now because they rejected him.
Yeah.
That might count in their favor.
So he did create an account, but what I think it is that you're just creating an account without any sort of partnership deal or anything else. Like, you can create a YouTube account, right? But it's not necessarily partnered or monetized, etc. So he did create an account. That did happen, right? So he did create an account in this platform. But so did his little buddy and his copycat DBR666. So this guy, you guys know him and love him. This guy is kind of toothless. He created an account over here, and this is kind of an accurate portrayal of this guy, DBR, the upcoming goat of IRL. This guy. Both of these guys are on there on that platform. So I think they're both trying to make this one a thing. And I think, maybe the owners want to hear that that's not the people that you want on that, that's not the type of content that you want there. I don't know. Maybe the owners will be interested in that. I know a lot of people have already spoken to them saying, hey, look, you shouldn't have these people on that platform. So yeah, it's very interesting. Of course, it's a very small platform. It's not a YouTube. It's not a Twitch. It's not even a Rumble. It's super, super small. Okay. So that's what I had for that. Once again, guys, let me, I know we got limited time on the doctor here. But let me give one last perusing here. If you want to go over, follow him on GoryoDynasty. He's also got his website here, Dr. Naude, right? And also, once again, I just switched over the Ko-Fi. So if you guys want to, get us a coffee or something like that in the morning, you can go over here, donate on Ko-Fi. And help out there. There's a good number of people behind the scenes that are helping with the Johnny Somali case. Now, of course, the doctor, his face is out here. You see him. But there's a lot of people helping that you don't see. And their help is what has allowed me to do this amazing coverage and go in depth and get information as it's breaking, really as it's even leaking to you guys across the world. And I really appreciate all of their help because I couldn't have done it without them. Seriously, genuinely. So that said, doctor, any parting thoughts or any things you want to say before we wrap up here?
Don't be Johnny Somali.
That's a good
wise words. Wise, deep. I'm going for deep and philosophical today. Yeah,
that's very, very deep.
I feel sorry for everyone that had to suffer through his nonsense in every country that he's been to. So I'll say sorry in his behalf instead of him, because he obviously won't say it and mean it. So I feel sorry for the people of Japan and Israel and Korea, obviously, and any other place like Thailand or wherever that has had the misfortune of having his visit. So sorry about that. Not all foreigners are like that. Unfortunately, there's a percentage that are, and hopefully the law will very strictly deal with this person, which I think it will in this case, and send a message that kind of behavior is not all right. Yeah, especially because, in the past, traveling was expensive, so a certain type of person traveled, but now that travel has become cheap, it encourages some people that are maybe not the best individuals with not very good intentions are now able to travel much more than they have in the past. So just regardless of where you are, just be careful.
Correct. watch out, guys, when you're whether you're traveling or whether you're at home. Just, be careful, be watchful, but enjoy yourself, be respectful, take a moment to learn the culture, to appreciate the place you are, and you're not going to have any problems where you're going. There's so many people out there that I see that travel to Asia, to Korea, to Japan, to Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and they're entirely respectful. They're entirely great, and they're a blessing for the country to have there. Obviously, Johnny hasn't been that, and that's unfortunate. But I do hope that we still have people coming abroad that are bringing a positive message. Yeah. Watching this, Ryobi, speaking of messages, Ryobi says for 279, watching the stream has made me crave some kimchi. Get yourself some kimchi. It's delicious. Yeah,
Ryobi, come to Korea. We'll sort you out with kimchi.
Good kimchi.
The other thing is, there are a lot of there's actually two like communities in Korea. There's like the Black American community, and then there's that African community, quite a large African community. People may be surprised. Mm-hmm. But they're very quiet, and they've worked hard to live quiet, productive lives. And then someone like this comes along and puts a spotlight. Now, it may sound like stereotypes or something like that, but if a white person goes somewhere and they do terrible things, people will go, white people are like this. And now he's come here and he's done all these horrible things. And now some people may say, whether they're right or not, okay, Black people are like this, and it's a very damaging thing for people that live in this country, that have families, that have worked hard, that obey the laws, that are integrated into Korean society. They don't need this. He's a very selfish person for doing this and not caring about his own people, frankly, that live here. Are just trying to live their lives.
Yeah, even the Somalian people, which he's not even Somalian really, but it's like his the people living abroad are incredibly harmed by this. Right. Incredibly harmed by this. The
Sudanese in Korea really don't like him. I know many Sudanese people. They're really, really not impressed with him. So a lot of people don't like him. Yeah. So I just want to point that out as well. There's a lot of people that try to live their lives respectfully, and this kind of thing doesn't just damage him, it damages other people that actually have lives.
That's very true. Final Fantasy Steve for 199 says, Suffa Johnny. Thank you for that. And then G1 Emma Yoon for Manwan says, a doctor, you don't have to say sorry to Korea. Johnny has to say deeply sorry. And to be honest, the sad thing with Johnny is he is the one who needs to be sorry, but he never is going to mean that. Even if the court makes him apologize, he never genuinely will mean that. He always does it just to get himself out of trouble because he thinks he's smart and he thinks he's better than everybody else. He's that type of dude. So
I hope he repents from his bad ways, but I'm doubtful of it, unfortunately.
Yep. But that's it. We'll close it on that one. And thank you guys for joining. Make sure you follow the doctor, and we'll catch you all later. See you.
Arrivederci.